In the minds of many people, wild boars are creatures tied to the wilderness, difficult to tame, and often seen as destructive pests in agriculture. With extraordinary strength, razor-sharp tusks, and an incredible ability to reproduce, just a handful of wild boars can wipe out an entire field in a single night. In many countries, they're every farmer's nightmare. But in China, the world's most populous nation and the largest consumer of pork, wild boars have taken on a completely different role, from agricultural menace to a valuable source of food. A massive industry has emerged, breeding and processing millions of wild boars every year to meet the country's huge demand. Their journey from untamed forests to large-scale farms and finally into modern processing plants is the story we're about to uncover. The Chinese have a special relationship with pork. More than half of the world's pork consumption takes place in China. In Chinese culinary culture, pork is more than just food, it's a symbol of prosperity. From family dinners to Lunar New Year feasts, and even street food stalls, pork is always on the table. That's why ensuring a stable supply for over 1.4 billion people is no small challenge. Industrially farmed pork makes up the majority of the market, but over the past 2 decades, wild boar meat has carved out a unique niche. Consumers believe it is leaner, firmer, more flavorful, and more natural than pork from conventional farms. This perception has transformed wild boar meat into a premium commodity, highly sought after in restaurants and supermarkets across the country. In the beginning, the supply mainly came from spontaneous hunting. In many mountainous regions, farmers use iron traps, hunting dogs, and even guns to catch wild boars. Once brought down, the animals were sold at local markets, becoming a rare delicacy. But this method could not keep up with the growing demand. First, wild boars are difficult to hunt, and their numbers are limited. Second, uncontrolled hunting risks disrupting the ecological balance. Third, this source of meat cannot guarantee safety from disease. For these reasons, in order to turn wild boars into a stable commodity, China chose a different path: domestication and large-scale farming. The first wild boar farms began appearing in the 1990s. Instead of confining them in narrow pens like domestic pigs, farmers built spacious enclosures with strong fences, planted trees, and created ponds to provide an environment close to the wild. The goal was to preserve their natural instincts while making it easier to manage them and control disease. However, purebred wild boars are aggressive, slow-growing, and difficult to raise. It can take up to 2 years for one to reach slaughter weight, while domestic pigs need only half that time. Because of this, breeders came up with a solution: crossbreeding wild boars with domestic pigs. The result was a new generation of wild boar hybrids, animals with strong resistance to disease and firm, flavorful meat, yet faster growing, tamer, and better suited for industrial farming. Today across China, there are thousands of farms raising hybrid wild boars. From the hilly regions of Sichuan and Guangxi to the northern plateaus, one can easily spot herds of black-haired, long-snouted pigs roaming inside fenced enclosures. They are fed a mix of corn, sweet potatoes, cassava, vegetables, and a portion of industrial feed. Some farms even advertise that their wild boars are raised only on natural food and without antibiotics, an effort to attract urban consumers who are increasingly concerned about clean food. Wild boars grow and reach a weight of 80 to 120 kilograms, the ideal range for meat production. When the time comes, specialized trucks transport them from the farms to centralized slaughterhouses. This is the moment when their wild lives come to an end and they enter the process of industrialization. In processing plants, wild boars are handled in exactly the same way as domestic pigs. The modern slaughtering process is designed not only to ensure food safety and hygiene, but also to meet massive production capacity. First, the animals are stunned with CO2 or electric shock to minimize pain. Then they are hung on steel conveyors and moved through each stage. Workers, in coordination with machines, carry out the steps of bleeding, cleaning, dehairing, and rinsing with a high-pressure water system. Next, the carcasses are opened, the internal organs removed, and then sent to the veterinary inspection area. Here, veterinarians carefully examine each part to eliminate any animals that do not meet standards. The qualified carcasses are split lengthwise into two halves and moved into cold storage to bring the temperature down to the proper level. From there, the sorting line begins its work. Shoulder meat, pork belly, ribs, and loin are separated. Fat and skin are collected for making sausages or cooking oil. And even the bones are not wasted. They are ground into bone meal for use in the livestock industry. What's notable is that although they are called wild boars, once they enter the processing plant, all products must meet international food safety standards. Temperature, humidity, and microorganisms are strictly controlled. After being cut, the meat is vacuum sealed, neatly packaged, and placed in cold storage. From there, it is transported in refrigerated trucks to supermarkets, restaurants, and wholesale markets across the country. Not limited to fresh meat, wild boar is also processed into many value-added products. In advanced processing workshops, the meat is turned into sausages, ham, smoked meat, or packaged jerky. Wild boar sausages are priced at nearly double that of regular sausages, as they are marketed as a natural specialty. Wild boar jerky is especially popular among young people, particularly during holidays and festivals. Some regions even produce wild boar ham for export to South Korea, Japan, and Europe. This success has not only brought economic benefits, but also helped reduce pressure from wild boar populations. Instead of destroying crops, they are brought into farms and turned into a legal source of meat. However, this has also sparked controversy. Many conservationists worry that with commercialization, wild boars will gradually lose their wild identity, leaving only industrial hybrids behind. Veterinary experts warn of the risk of disease, since wild boars naturally carry many pathogens that could spread to farmed herds with serious consequences. In addition, large-scale farming places a heavy burden on the environment. Waste, wastewater, and emissions all need to be treated to prevent pollution. However, From a consumer perspective, it is clear that wild boar meat has become part of the market. From ordinary family meals to upscale restaurants, it can be found everywhere. Urban residents see it as a healthier option, while farmers view it as an opportunity to prosper. And for the government, it represents a way to diversify supply and reduce dependence on industrial pork. Looking back on this journey, we see a story full of paradox. A creature once considered a pest has now become a valuable commodity. From the wild forest, it entered the farm, and from the farm, it went straight into the modern factory. This path reflects the remarkable adaptability of human society, turning challenges into opportunities and threats into profit. But the big question still lies ahead. Is the wild boar industry truly sustainable? Can we raise and consume millions of wild boars without creating consequences for the environment, ecosystems, and public health? Or will the ambition of overexploitation one day trigger a new crisis, just like the epidemics that once broke out in the industrial livestock sector? The story of wild boars in China remains evidence of a larger trend. Humanity will always find ways to exploit every biological resource to meet ever-growing demands. And sometimes creatures once thought to be purely harmful can become vital links in the global food system. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed our video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on more exciting content. Goodbye for now, and see you next time.